Ladies and gentlemen, we'll welcome you to Land of Britain, a home track for many of the drivers on the XRL Tour, as this is a British-based series for the 11th round in the XRL X3 Season 2 Series Championship. Today, I'm being joined in the booth with returning driver and former commentator in this series, XRL Ozda. Ozda, it's great to have you back. How are you doing today, mate?
Pretty good. Yeah, it's good to be back here. Good to be back doing well. I took a break last season, focused on racing a bit more. But here, I'm back now. I'm going to be back in devs soon, so you're going to see maybe some saucy overtakes. And I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's good to be back in the booth today. And Britain, it's a interesting track. There's a lot of corners. If you put too much power down, it will go. And then we'll probably see maybe a couple of spins today.
Very much. Real quickly, let's go ahead and give you the lineup on who's on what team. For the Mercedes Formula 1 team, it's going to be XRL Snake at XXX Bucks XXX. In the Scuderia Ferrari camp, we're going to have XRL Smash and XRL Turbo. Red Bull Aston Martin's going to have Whippy and Patriot, while in McLaren, Careless Jackson, XRL Stumpy are coming back. Only one representative for the Renault team, that is King Joffrey, who put on an enticing show but just missed out on the win last week in Austria. For AlphaTauri, you have XRL Fritz and XRL Tome. In Racing Point, it's Retrorixie and Find Waldo. I don't have to worry about finding Waldo, he's right there. Alfa Romeo has XRL Cargo and Atui. For Haas, Boothie is going to be in there sharing the ride with WCD Hubert, who had to suffer a race suspension after accumulating too many penalty points. And then on the Williams team, it's Schold and Constant Jet. So here we are. Let's be honest here. Silverstone, one of the most legendary tracks on the Formula 1 circuit, dates all the way back to the 50s, has gone through a lot of different changes, a lot of different renovations. Going into this, who do you think we can look at for the pole position? Who do you think we can look at for contending for the win today, Ozda?
Well, I do think Snake, he's been talking to me quite a bit. I've also seen some of his overtakes and stuff. He has got a lot of pace. But we also have some new faces that I haven't seen, which is crazy. Said only missed one win last week in Austria. We also I've seen Fritz pretty good as well. The Huber pretty quick as well. So we have a new number of people contending today, but it all comes down to strategy and qualification. What tires you go in Q2, that's all going to make the difference on the starting grid. Alright, so we still don't have a no driver. So could we see a reserve in there? I'm not too sure just yet. I'll have a look now and see who may be going in that Renault seat. So here we go. Lounge, nothing has been said in there. Let's look at the standings. So we have the driver standings at the top of the driver standings is Cargo with 74 points. Snake lacking a bit behind there with 54. Sorry, Retro is 53. Level in 36. Atway in 5th with 30. Careless Jackson in 6th with 28. Schold in 7th with 27. Gusty in 8th with Electric Fritz in 9th with 22, and King Joffrey 10th with 18. So here we go here. It's going to be a very good all round, and hopefully we don't see the usual weather of Britain, which is rain. As that will really, you know, I think many people practice wet. So good to see you actually have practiced. Ooh.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Real quick, Barry. So
Mhm.
just your mic kind of like it's not cutting out completely. It's just kind of like stuttering from time to time. It's not all the time, but it's just enough. Yeah. So just I don't know if there's anything you can do about it, but if you can, try to check and see what's up with that.
I'll restart my controller right now and see if that works.
Yeah. Kind of a shame having a little bit of technical issues. Had a little bit of technical issues when I was covering the WSRL Cup Series yesterday. So it seems like technical issues are just being the theme of the weekend, on my end at least. But here we are as we now begin to load up onto the track at Silverstone.
Alright,
Once we're out of the black screen. Alright, seems like it's a little bit better now. And I can say this much, the weather here at Silverstone is significantly better than the weather you have right now here in Utah, where it's a nice faint drizzle of snow here. Bright and sunny. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it looks pretty sunny, yeah. You know, in Britain, really get much sun, but F1 seems to like that idea, so, you know, hope that's going to be good for the drivers. I don't really know about the race yet. We need to get informed of one of the drivers. Dry and race, I've just been told, actually. So, that is good.
Well, we've seen before where they've said it would be dry all quali or dry all race, and it ends up not quite going that way. Weather is a little bit out of control here, so... Also, I just want to cover this real quickly. The other Renault driver who joined last minute, it's XRL Herbie, and I believe Herbie will be joining you, Azda, in about an hour after this broadcast is over for covering the X2 race here.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Herbie, he's got a really good network, so good for comms. Obviously, if you've not watched XL before, I used to be the X3 comms last season. I used to do it on my own and have the odd commentator pop in. I had, let's say like a leave period. I had to just leave the league. I'm not gonna go into detail why, but I'm back now. And I'm on comms again. If you've missed it, I don't know how you missed me. Hello everyone, how you all doing? Obviously I can't read the Twitch. But this should be a good quality. Hopefully no one gets in the way of each other, as you know, Silverstone isn't the long track on the calendar, so that goes there.
First driver who came out onto the track for this qualifying session is Boothie116 as he's making the run to the final chicane. I'm just going to be quiet for about a lap and we'll run on board with Boothie so you can really get an idea as to what it sounds like a lap here around Silverstone. Sorry to break in, but it looks like XRL Stumpy has had a off-track excursion there in the first sector. He is back underway and is going back again. Not really sure what happened to him there, but it must have been that he made contact with another driver or contact with something on the track, because you can see part of the left front wing is damaged. The end plate is taken off. 2 of the winglets have been removed. So a little bit of damage there. He's probably going to have to come in pit to get that repaired real quickly.
Yeah, he maybe lost the rear, but doesn't have a lot of downforce on that car, so Boothie with 126.3. I don't know what good lap times are right there.
Retro, same thing, 126.3. They both get beaten by XRL Cargo, though. He's running a 126.0. So once again, the Alfa Romeo car continue to show extreme pace and ability in qualifying.
Yeah, I've heard about XRL Cargo. He's seems to have quite a lot of pace recently. Yeah, good on him. He didn't have a really good run last season, but he's pulling it back this season. So we'll see how it gets done in this race. And hopefully maybe he can get a decent result here. So yeah, we're just gonna have a look and see who's gonna out top, I guess. So Smash coming across the line, and that corner crossing the line. Whoa, where will he go? You go for second for 127.9. I think that's maybe just a little bit off the pace, but I could be wrong, as I really don't know what laps around here.
He's also going to have a little bit of time. We still have over 12.5 minutes in the session. Even if it's a slow lap right now, he will have the time to potentially take some off. The Scuderia Ferrari team, at least in qualifying, has started turning their results around a bit. Early on in the season, both Smash and Turbo were struggling horrendously from qualifying into race itself. Now, the Ferrari driver is starting to crack into Q2. Is beginning to become a little bit more common. So, possibly better fortunes ahead for the Scuderia Ferrari team.
And it looks like Richie here is going to the 125 to 125.7. Team's Cargo here. Could have been the track being really cold. As you know, obviously I'm sorry, I haven't done this in a while. Jesus. Obviously, as the session ends or progresses, the track's going to get warmer. It's going to get more in. So you know, it's going to be. I mean, you can see maybe at the end of the session, a lot of drivers come out.
Sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, WCD Hubert has gone off and around there, down in turn 3. He's completely looped the car around. Now, he is back underway here. No damage to that car. It looks like the rear end got around on him. While I was flipping through some of the driver cameras, I saw that happen. So, yeah, it looks like proper downforce balance from the front to the rear. Not working out very well for several of the drivers. It's their second incident we've seen through that section.
Yeah. That corner, you can also like clip like grass. That unstabilizes the car, makes it go around as well. The main things you're gonna look out for in this track are gonna be, we see a Ferrari thing go off, or is that that's Turbo just letting people pass? That's alright. Yeah, you're gonna see people go off. Maybe Magus and Beckett.
Oh, someone else has gone off. That's Boothie. Boothie has completely spun his car around now as well, and he's done around in turn 2. So both of the Haas drivers having significant issues here in the very first sector.
I think this is.
Now,
go on.
All I was going to say is that Boothie has already set a time, but he's obviously pushing to try and improve, and he may have pushed a little bit too hard through there.
Yeah. Also, coming out of that corner, what I've noticed is I did a practice race this week here, and I got lapped by every single car. That's not the point. Anyway, so going through that section, if you put on too early, the rears are going to spin, basically like every single corner. But if you don't see, and you ever go into the left and hitting the wall, or you're going to the right and cutting that whole corner. So, you know, if you don't get that perfectly right, then I think you'll see a lot of drivers go off there.
Well, we've already seen 3 go around in that section. I honestly was thinking we might see more of a problem in the Maggots and Beckett's corners. Whereas that right now, Patriot and Hubert are breezing through without too much of an issue.
Yeah, I mean, you just get... it's kind hard to explain, but Max is easy if you don't think about it. These drivers, they will agree with me, you don't think about half the section in Azerbaijan, you will more than likely not get it wrong. But if you overthink it, then in Max Beckett, going into the rock line, then over the whole F section, you'll also have the rock line as well, and it'll make you lose traction or lose time or whatever. So you gotta take a really good line through Max Beckett. Right.
Well, it all seems to come down to instinct through some of the stricter corners here. Of note, we still have 5 drivers who have not set their lap. XRL Herbie has not even left the pits yet. Stumpy, Joffrey, Constant Cadet, and Waldo all have yet to set their first clean laps, although Stumpy and Joffrey have already made attempts to just invalidate their laps. Then you also have WCD Hubert, who went around earlier, currently riding on board Hubert. Hubert's time is about 14 seconds off of Whippy's right now, and it looks like he's invalidated this lap as well, so there's going to be and Patriot gets off, and that's going to force Hubert to take evasive maneuvers to avoid Whippy going through Maggots and Beckett's.
I don't know what happened there. It was the rear or...
Whippy missed the second corner in Maggots and Beckett's and kind of straight-lined it, and as he tried merging back onto the track properly, Hubert had to swerve off the circuit to avoid him, because there was a very high potential of an accident through there. Good job to both drivers for saving it, but for Hubert, it's just more frustration. The lap was already dirty, and now it's going to probably upset his focus going into this next lap as well.
Yeah, I think that was actually a Patriot. But yeah, I think he's very quick, so we could see maybe hopefully get him into Q3. I don't know whether he's on the track. I'm just doing back this week, so I don't know what people are doing here in the practice sessions. But yeah, seeing Stumpy come around the final corner now. Lap, and he goes 16th, 1:27.9. Stumpy has, if you guys watch the stream know him, he used to be a full-time driver and had to step out, I think for school, and that's come, he's a full-time, I've been told, so yeah, hopefully he has a good result here.
King Joffrey has also finally set a good lap. It took him a while, but he's set down at 1:26.208. That's 4th on the timesheets, and with 6 minutes left in the session, I think that'll probably be good enough to lock him into Q2. I think everyone in the top 5 right now will probably make it into Q2 without issue. The only driver yet to have set a time thus far is Joffrey's teammate, Herbie, as Herbie is going through second right now.
So where Herbie's going through now, you got to be very, very careful. Just because that, you know, if you try to take that a little too quick, then your car will, like, even if it's just a little bit quicker than you're meant to, your car will seriously go off. And Jesus Christ, that will also leave that, but also in the race will crucially give you time penalties. And you don't want that, obviously, because as we know in XRL, if you get 20 more penalties, 6 penalties, you get disqualified, and it also ruin a race as well. He crosses the line, he goes 11th, about 6-7. That is, he may get Q2, but that may be a borderline. So. Our driver's out right now, there's still 4 minutes in the session, so there's still a lot of time to go. So Smash is on the out lap, so he's looking to improve. Curtis Jackson, he's on a hot lap as well, so he's looking to improve as well. Stumpy has just come from his hot lap. Everyone's on a hot lap as well, and XL Patriot's on a hot lap. And what I've been told, XL Patriot is racing in X3. He used to be, he took it upon himself to move himself down to Dev. He was not really scoring any points in X3, and he's got a lot better at the game, and he's come back to X3, and I hope first time back, hopefully maybe he can score some points, even if it's just one.
Right now, Patriot is currently last on the timesheets, 128.305. Also of note, WCD Hubert has finally put down the time, a competitive time, 126.196. So the Magic Man in qualifying continues to pull off his magic, despite going around having to avoid incidents. He's put down a very, very quick time. So when it really comes down to it, didn't seem to upset him. Like you said, Smash and Turbo are still on the track. Smash is right now on a blistering lap going through Maggots and Beckett's himself at the moment.
It seems that the two Ferrari drivers are in each other's toes, which is perfectly allowed for the teammates. But if they weren't, then it wouldn't be allowed. That is great play from both of the drivers. You don't really see that much now. It used to be quite common last season, but I've been watching some of the races and I don't really see that happen too much. But yeah, it's good to see teammates actually working together rather than not.
Well, they need to figure out some way to improve their tow, because right now, neither of the Ferrari drivers are setting themselves up to make it into Q2. Smash is the closest. He only needs to improve by about 0.08 of a second. He needs to find it. He needs to find it fast, though.
Yeah, I mean, there is 2 minutes left. But obviously, after the time is ended, you can't start another hot lap unless you're on one. Obviously, as that goes by the XRL rulebook. Patriot, he took just one place, going to 19th place. Turbo, he's kind of looking at the real Ferraris right now, 20th. And same with Smash, he's in 16th. They're not even going to get to Q2. I know Smash has got pace, but I think with qualifying, his race pace better than his qualifying pace. Some people sort of way around. It looks like XRL Patriot that's run out of fuel, so it's gonna have to both decide when some characters come. But yeah, these Ferraris need to pull the fingers out there and try and get into Q2.
Well, Smash was up by about 0.2 when he exited Sector 2, and now he's rounding the final corner. Yes, he does. He's going to move up, 126.9, so last minute here, but he made it stick.
But the fact is, though, we could see Books improve, we could see Whip improve. Considering that he's an outlier, he's an lap as well. He goes to 10th. That puts the Ferrari down to 14th. Now, could we see Books improve? I know he's a big driver. Snake, I thought it'd be a higher up than 11th. But, you know, it's what the race counts, but qualifying obviously does help, possibly.
Looks at the end of Sector 1, he's 14 hundredths up at the moment. That would be enough to put him back above Smash again. Whippy's coming around and he's going to start his next lap here, and Carlos Jackson is following him just a little bit behind. So it's going to be between Smash, Books, Whippy, Jackson, and then potentially Stumpy and Turbo to make it into Q2 here.
Yeah, Books, he's really got to find that pace in the Mercedes. He's currently out now, he's got to find that inner strength, and now he's a very quick driver when he wants to be. He's down this time right now, coming
Oh,
into,
and Stumpy has towed the car there at the exit of turn 1. So Stumpy is not going to, I can't get any good camera angles on it, but I can see his little marker off the track. He is not going to advance. His car is totaled, and Q1 has come to a close. Books at the line will jump up to 6th. So Smash versus Whippy now in the fight. Smash is retired, so will Whippy be able to improve? Constant Jet has retired from the session. He sees no need to continue on. I don't know what happened to Stumpy, but considering it was in turn 1, I have to think that the car went around on him going in turn 1 like we've seen 3 other times in this session.
Yeah, it will be oh, I'm Whippy validate the last corner into the time of the pits there. Carlos Jackson, he's gonna stay out. Oh, and there's a glitch there where the car jumps at him, and when they go to the pits, he's gonna cross the line. Is he gonna improve to get to Q2?
Yes, he does.
He goes 12th.
And that means both of the Red Bulls and both of the Ferraris get knocked out. It seems like the luck that those two teams were having over the last 2 races has run out. They are back on the outside looking in, and the other driver who will not make it in will be Careless Jackson's teammate, XRL Stumpy, as he crashes out at the last minutes of qualifying session 1.
Yeah, very unfortunate. If you knew him last season, you'd have a very insider joke. But yeah, I'm not really going to say it, but forgot it. But unfortunate for Stumpy. He should have really pushed to gone through, but maybe he pushed a little too hard. As I said before, he took the grass, you're going to go around, he may have done that, hit the ball and took his wheel or so. Yeah, that's not very good for the McLaren and Stumpy. I think also smashes. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Whippy. I think he'll be kicking himself, and also as well. I think he'll be kicking himself. But you know, to be fair, it all comes down to the race. Qualifying helps massively. Ultimately, it all comes down to the race result.
Alright, well now we're beginning to load up Q2. I've got some good news for you all. We're still on a green, clean track. Here in Utah, we're taking all the rain away, so we don't have to worry about any in this session itself. We only have 14 drivers in Q2, so why are we missing our 15th guy?
Because Stumpy died. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay. So this is going to be one of my favorite sessions, per usual. I always love seeing drivers go out there on mediums. They think like, oh yeah, I'm nice, I'm happy, and then usually in the last 3 to 5 minutes you see people start freaking out and they throw on the sauce, basically risking their entire race pace just to try and get a good lap out. So
wow, so it looks like Jackson is on the softs. That is very interesting. He may be doing a 2-stop or a soft hard strategy, but that is very, very, very interesting.
Everyone else who's out on track right now is running the medium tire. No, I take that back. XRL Cargo is also starting on the soft tire compounds. Cargo, being one of the fastest drivers here, he could go out there on soft tire compounds and make everyone else sweat and potentially throw away race strategy in an attempt to make it into Q3.
I think he'll make Q3 regardless, but he maybe just set a banker. No, because that won't work, would it? I'm gonna say he might set a banker, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe he's wanting to do a strategy, but as you see here, Jackson weaving around like crazy, trying to get his tires up to temperature. Like here.
Excuse me.
Alright, so are we gonna see someone going to turn 1? No. Jackson doesn't spin out like his other teammate, XRL Stumpy. Coming into hit now, is he gonna spin out here if he popped the throttle too early? No, he's short shifting, that's good, he needs to short shift through that. Got the DRS rider, gonna gain him a couple attempts. Going into here now, heavy braking zone, try not to look up your left tire.
Very strange development, as apparently Atui and Waldo, neither of them are on the track yet, but the game is saying that they both have fitted intermediate tires on their cars.
Yeah, that's hard. What is going on?
I know we've had rain. Oh, yeah, I don't know if it's that, or they might be anticipating potential rain. Regardless, the last 2 races we've had, we've seen rain in Q2, and yes, Atui and Waldo, it says they're exiting, and yes, I can confirm they both have the intermediates.
They both have on. What is going on? I'm so confused.
You and me both.
What? I am mind-boggled. I've never seen it in my commentating career. I mean, I guess you could call it career, but this is literally really sunny, like hardly any clouds.
Yeah, I'm very, very concerned.
Interested and concerned. Bit of both. Wow, Retro Rixie is beating Curtis Jackson on mediums. Looks like Curtis Jackson may be struggling with track a little bit. But as you see, WCD Beaver is in second. Retro Rixie seems to have some good pace to qualify him. He topped the session in Q1, maybe he'll top the session in Q2. XL Snake in 6th, 27.4. He seems to be struggling a bit here at this track. As we see a Haas go off, but that is just to let people by.
XRL Tone now goes up to second in the AlphaTauri with a 126.6.
Now, I'm so confused. Why did they put the intermediates on? Just going back to the pits.
Yeah, this is a very strange development. And these two drivers are not teammates either, so to see the same issue on two different teams, two different drivers, it's just very bizarre, and it's eating up a lot of very important time for them.
So, XR car, he's on the soft, and he's got a purple 62. He's also going to be quicker on the soft tyre compound, but is he going to snatch pole from Rixie on the mediums here, going into Stowe? This is where Sebastian Vettel Max Verstappen crashed. In 2018, I think it was, coming to the last one. What's he going to do? Is he going to snatch pole? He does a 125.541. He had to run out of VRS onto the home straight, but he does snatch pole from Retro Rixie. But the also disadvantage of that is that he's on a soft compound.
Yeah, right now the fastest medium tire compound is Retro Rixie with a 126.259. Cargo is a solid 7/10 faster than that on the softs.
Yeah, I mean, maybe softs are about 2/10 quicker. So I would love to see what he does on the mediums if he would on them. But it's also the strategy, see what he can pull up the back. Maybe he's just trying to find out a strategy, see if it works. Yeah, he looks like he's running up fuel as well, so he's just gonna try and carry a couple. But yeah, we could see people later in the session go out on softs, as he said before. Because also I can't say the word, I'll just say track development, but also they'll do the medium run, do that as a bank, see where they are at, and if they're not getting through to Q3, then they'll just go out on the softs.
King Joffrey is coming around into the final corner at the moment as he's about to start his first flying lap. Atui, Fritz, and Waldo all have actual race tires on now. They're all running mediums. Well, Fritz is running softs, but Atui and Waldo are running mediums, and they're now on their out laps. So right now it looks like XXX is the only driver who has yet to set himself up to get going for a flying lap here.
Yeah, obviously Fritz is the soft tire, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he's in the top 10 or top 5 maybe. As it does seem to be that the soft tire excuse me, the soft tire is quite good at the minute. But what I've noticed with the soft compound is it goes off so quickly. So like once you hit that barrier, it only goes downhill. Like they just degrade really quickly, so you gotta really watch out for that when you're at compound in the race.
Yeah, you make a great point. Silverstone is no longer the high-speed mecca that was back in the days of Alain Prost and Nigel Mansell, Ayrton Senna, Michael Schumacher. Nowadays, there are a lot of high-speed sections, yes, but this is a more torque-focused track with a lot of technical corners added into it as well. Once your tires start going away, you don't really have any recourse to start saving them and bringing them back from the dead.
Yeah, like, it's also, yeah, it's just, you know, it's like a point where, oh, my tires feel fine, I've got grip, and then it could be the next lap, it's like, I've got no grip, whoa, I'm in the wall, you know, and that's what, well, it's not like with every tyre compound, but it's specifically like that with the soft gears, because obviously, they're not prolonged to do far distances, and if they do far distances, then they're also going to lose grip, and then they could have punctures, etc, etc. So it'll be interesting to see what the soft runners are going to do with the strategy. And if we see maybe a 2-stop or 1-stop soft to hard.
So King Joffrey has tried going his first lap, but he invalidated it. XRL Fritz has now completed his lap. He goes up to 4th on the timesheets, 126.434. Now we only have 4 drivers who have yet to set their times. That's Ottaway, Books, Joffrey. I say 3 drivers now. I apologize. So we have 3 drivers left to set their times. Ottaway is coming down across the line now, and he sets his time at 127.263. That's good enough for 9th. Now 10th, as the drivers keep improving significantly. And Books and Joffrey still have yet to set their time. Books is on an outlap, but there's less than 5 minutes left in the session. He's really only going to have like maybe 2 or 3 really good flying laps to shoot at it.
King Joffrey just puts it in third with 124.8 on the medium tyre compound. Snake, he's still struggling. He put it in 6th with a 126.5 at 4 yeah, sorry. I can't read. But yeah, on the soft tyre compound as well. So it seems weird that some people may be struggling more than others. As Fritz is going really slowly, he's got no fuel. He's got no racing point past or flying wall. But yeah, it's just obviously you're gonna have a lot of differences with people. But yeah, let's hope that we don't see too many drivers.
WCD Hubert, although he had a little bit of an off on what looks to be a cooldown lap, he has set the second fastest time thus far, 126.081. So a lot of shuffling going on right now. And outside of XRL Cargo, everyone in the top 5 are on medium tire compounds at the moment.
Yeah, and that's going to be critical for Cargo. Obviously, they're on the slower tire compound, so maybe Cargo could pull away, get a really good gap, and then go on to the. Oh, extra Fritz!
Fritz gets disqualified.
Oh, that is not good for that for drivers. That means he will not get into Q2. The set in there, and now if maybe one AlphaTauri driver will get into Q3 today, that is a very big loss for the AlphaTauri team.
Yeah, XRL Tome is currently 7th on the timesheets right now. There's about 3 minutes left, so he might be able to make it stick, but it's definitely... Oh, and Books is off! Books has gone off in the last 2 corners. He's invalidated his lap, and the car is completely off circuit now. He is back underway, or at least gained back underway now, but that's not a good thing, so it's not looking good for the Mercedes team right now. Snake outside of the top 5, although he is on track to make it, and then Books might not even make it into the next session. There are only 2 drivers out on track right now. That's Constant Jet and Books. Constant Jet is on the soft tire compounds on a flyer lap right now. He might be able to move up just a bit.
Yeah, could see some improvements here. It looks like after Fanmodo have put the soft tires on in the pits. Someone seems to be coming out of the pits now. We're seeing
XRL
more
Tome's coming out as well.
Now. Yeah, as the track development is going on, and also because of your time and they want to get into Q3. He has to actually get 9th through to Q3 as Fritz as disqualified, so we'll see 9 drivers through.
So you're saying 10th on the timesheets. Ottaway right now will automatically not advance?
No, I don't think so. That's not on the last session, but it may be that Ottaway does go through because it's a disqualification, not a but I'm not too sure. it's just this game is just really weird and unpredictable, so I'm not too sure about that.
Constant Jet has set its third fastest time thus far all day, 126.154, immediately during his lap afterwards. But the real interesting part is going to be Atui and Waldo. These two drivers will have just enough time to get across the line and set one fast flying lap. And that's it. That's the only chance they're going to get here in Q2. They're going to cross the line with about 50 seconds or less to go. So yeah, this is going to get kind of nutty. Same thing with Tome. Tome is coming around, and he will have just enough time to set one fast flyer lap.
He also he's just trying to try the ZRS. But I'm going to go on board with Fatway, see how he takes this series of corners, short shifts, which obviously gives you a bit more stability and traction. And I think that's what you should do through that first sector-ish. Second sector is pretty easy, and so is the first sector. The only really hot parts about this track is turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, and the Maggots and Beckett's, I would say.
XRL Snake, he's not going to make it to the line, I don't think. 2, 1. No, I think he made it. Yes, he made it at the last possible second. So while Books is not going to be able to make it into Q3, he's not able to set a single time, Snake is on it and really trying to improve here at the last possible second. Schulte's gone ahead and retire from the session. We're going to be seeing Waldo and Atui crossing the line very shortly here. They're on flyer laps, trying desperately to break back into Q3. Waldo going through the last 3 corners.
Yeah, it looks like Brian Waldo has got a purple sector 2. See what he does. 9th, only just gets through, but could we see after go through as well? We do
10th.
10th, so I don't know whether that is because. Oh wait, no, Schultz is actually. Oh, no, it's retirement. Sorry.
Here comes XRL Tome. He's 8th on the timesheets. Will he improve though? No, he's not. He's extremely slow coming out of the final corner. It looks like he feels relatively confident because he was the last driver to set a time. Everyone else has completed, with the exception of XRL Snake, who's already ahead. Snake coming around. I don't think Snake's even pushing that hard himself. It looks like everyone's realized that with Waldo and Atui only getting 9th and 10th, there's no real reason to push too hard. So a bit of a deflation, I guess, in energy for the drivers on track at the very end, but Fritz gets disqualified for blocking coming into the pits, and then Books never gets a chance to set one good, clean lap at all. That leads to a lot of interesting shakeups as to who does and doesn't, and we still don't know, in the booth at least, if Atui is going to be allowed to run in Q3 or not.
Yeah, because the last session, the retirement of Stumpy and left people into Q2, so I don't know if Atway will get Q3. Talking about Atway, actually, just on the subject for XRL, yeah, so Atway does get through, fortunately. I had a really good back in Forza, hosted by XRL. So yeah, if you want to do that, it's a pretty good racing, and it's a lot of fun. Very fun.
So the 10 drivers, the 10 drivers who will make it in the qualifying session 3 will be Atui in the Alfa Romeo, along with XRL Cargo in the Alfa Romeo. Both Haas drivers, Hubert and Boothby, will make it in. One Renault representative, that's Keen Joffrey. For Williams, they will only have Constant Jet make it in. Both of the Racing Point drivers, Retroixie and Waldo, will make it in. One AlphaTauri driver, XRL Tome, and one Mercedes driver in XRL Snake. Those will be your 10 drivers fighting it out for the pole position and the lap for the top 10 for our race today here at Silverstone.
Yeah, this is going to be quite an interesting grid. We could see Cargo topping up, but as we know, Retroixie has been pretty quick in qualifying 3 and qualifying 2, so we could see that little battle between them two in the race as well, as Q3 gets underway now, and we will shortly see Jax coming out.
Right, real quickly, I'm going to try and reduce the game volume just a bit because I'm getting word that the game volume is just being a little bit too excessively
Start
loud.
streaming. Unless do it in
Nope.
the game settings in
Nope,
the actual
don't.
game.
Oh yeah, you can do it on the game itself? Oh, I wasn't aware of that. Preferences. Audio settings. Oh yeah, you can. Okay. Master volume. In fact, I'm just going to drop master volume down to 8 then. And then back on the stream, I'll kick the volume back up so the balance is a bit better.
First
preserved.
person, he is Eager Beaver. He wants to get that coup time in. Second out on track is XRL, sorry. Retro Ricky. He had an alright season last season, from what I can remember. And seems to have some good pace here in X3 this season. So we could see maybe a pole from him today or a second place to fight with XRL Cargo. Snake, he's out as well. He was the last season. He won the constructors last season, became second in drivers. First was so as who he lost out in two. Sorry, but actual turnout. So basically, half the people or all the people out, should I say? I believe he's going to be the first person to settle that time out if he doesn't validate.
There's only one driver still in the pit lane who hasn't left yet, and that looks to be Constant Jet. Everyone else is out or on their way exiting the pits. And like you said, Boothie, first driver out, really anxious and excited to get out there and set the early fastest time. The Haas car is very well represented in this session.
Oh, locks up there. Now we'll looks up again just a little bit, but I think pressure's getting to Q3. Pressures are very, very high. He's also got Cargo breathing next. Shouldn't really be too for him in qualifying. The purple first sector because he is the first car to set for the lap time. If he doesn't have a landing in the second sector, back to Beckett's, which it is very common to, as you can cut that up a bit. And also here as well, it's coming through, you can invalidate that, and commentate's good.
And he invalidated it.
Yeah.
So that falls now to Retro to be the first driver to put a clean lap time down today.
Yeah, the pink Mercedes, or the lefty Mercedes, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Racing Point.
Yeah, so what he's doing, he's weaving near Retro Rixie. He's not really meant to weave in qualifying or in the race. You have to be quite a distance away. Locks up Retro Rixie, but not too much to invalidate in lock time or hamper it.
125.525.
It's been very consistent with the 125 in qualifying after song. So
Joffrey now goes to the top.
Yeah.
125.463.
But could Cargo beat that? I think we may see it, or if not, it'll be very, very tightly together. Now, so the rhetoric team does let past Cargo and come into the thing kind of thing. I don't know what it's. It looks a bit deep, but obviously if you go deep, you get a better exit-ish. Usually. Coming out through
Ottawee
here.
has a purple sector 2 as he's going into sector 3 right now, the last little bit of the circuit. So Ottawee may be in a position to jump into the top 3 positions on time. He was on top of the timesheets at the end of Q2, granted by virtue of him being on softs and everyone else being on mediums.
Sorry, but that is the hassle of WC Huber. He's obviously had a little off there. He's obviously got the rear tyres too hot, or he's put the power down too early, and he's put it around there. You're going to see that commonly in the race, I would think. So Cargo now comes to the end of his lap. What's he going to do? Is he going to search for Joffrey? He is not a 25.8.
Yeah, neither of the Alfa Romeos able to get into the top 3 positions yet, but there's still a little bit more than 6.5 minutes in the session. But time is running out fast, and speaking of which, Tome, Constant Jet, and Waldo have all elected to come back into the pits. None of them set a full good lap time. So this is interesting. Boothie has now set his time at 1:43.504. Obviously, he needs to take a lot of time off of that if he wants to honestly compete in this session.
Yeah, that would be with people, maybe with moving over people, or maybe a little spin. But I didn't see him spin, and I didn't see any yellow flags. He was moving out of the way of people. So yeah, I think he's on a flyer now. Let me just check my telemetry. Yep, flying lap now. So we'll see if he can be improving that time to get into the top 5, which is the holy grail of qualifying. If you get in the top 5, it's achievement that you want to hold.
Boothie and Constant Jet are the only driver. Well, realistically, it's only Boothie right now who's setting a flyer time. Constant Jet's on an outlap, and Cargo has invalidated his lap that he's currently on. So right now, the focus is going to be on Boothie. Purple Sector 2, it says he's up by about 12.866 seconds. He needs to find even more time, obviously, just for him to seriously contend here for the pole position.
So through Stone now, good line through there, doesn't look up like most people do. Coming through there, oh, that was a bit bad, but not too shabby either. But cut to line 4 through 25.8. We have had 1, 2, 3, 25.8, so this is a tight woven grid.
Of our 7 drivers who have set times, 6 of them are all within the 125 range. We're still waiting on Tome to come back onto the circuit, but Constant Jet and Waldo are now on their outlaps. I take it back, Constant Jet has actually begun his first flying lap. Also of note, Retro XC is on an outlap. He is roughly 6 hundredths, not tenths, 6 hundredths off of top spot right now. I think he could find 6 hundredths. The question will be, obviously, will King Joffrey go back out and defend his shot at the pole, though?
I think we will see Cargo will go back out again. I do see coming off a Alpha Romeo. But talking real life F1, we've had a lot of interesting signs from the Haas team with 2 new rookie drivers. I had to resign him for Stephen Apted and Kimi Räikkönen. So obviously Cargo's doing Kimi Räikkönen probably. Obviously see also actually he's doing Antonio Proud as well. Boothie, he's doing Roman Good for Proud, and so is in Magnussen. I think Tome is going to be Pierre Gasly. He's had a strong season, and I'm can't wait to see what Cargo's going to do in his second flying Q3 session.
I'll tell you what Constant Jet is doing right now in this Q3 session. He put down a time of 1:26.391, not enough to directly challenge the drivers ahead of him on the timesheets right now. Waldo's going to be the next question as he's rounding the... I don't know what the name of that corner is, I'm sorry, but he's rounding one of the longer corners here in Sector 2. Him and XRL Tome are the only 2 drivers yet to have set a time.
I think, yeah, that just his outlap, but Cargo went off a bit and he took one of the braking markers out, so people with no line watched out, and he's weaving as well. He shouldn't really be doing that. As he has got Abdul Snake behind him, but no one's letting him go. You don't want. Oh, why do you let Snake go? I don't get that, but okay. Anyway, Cargo starting his outlap here, at Silverstone. Move through turn 1 now. Is he gonna drop it like some other drivers? He isn't. But I also think when you go into turn 1, I think the drivers that are dropping it.
WCD Hubert has wrecked the car. He has wrecked out 3rd place.
That's gonna be a bummer. Our commentator's cursed again. I said he was doing half proud. He missed it. Back down. Yeah, let's go round up with Snake, see what actually happened. Yeah, he's top the rear, or he put it down too quick, and he has just put it in the wall.
Something wrong with Fine Waldo, at least audio-wise on my end, because it sounded like that car was slamming against the rev limiter all the way down the second straightaway. He is 30 seconds off of Constant Jet's time right now, so very interesting from the Haas cars. We saw them having issue with stability in Q1. It's coming to bite them now, and now it's Waldo's turn to go around. Waldo slams the wall, the sector completely destroys the front wing. I do not know how the front suspension is still working on that car.
Yeah, wow, that was a pretty big hit there, wasn't it? And there's a
Cargo goes to the top.
Pole. And Mitsubishi beats him. He fights back. Wow. By his head.
Joffrey is out on an outlap. King Joffrey will have just enough time to put down one hardcore flying lap here, assuming the drivers ahead don't end up holding him up.
I don't think they will. I think actually it's far ahead of him. He's left a lot of space as well. So can King Joffrey take advantage of the clean air that he's got now? Probably not. I think Retro Richie's absolutely f***ing this qualifying session. And as I say that, he's binned it. He's binned it. Retro Richie's gone. He's off.
And it's in the same place that Hubert did it at. We are now out of time in the session. XRL Tome is on his first flying lap at the last possible moment as well. We still have a bunch of drivers out there trying to set a time right now. Our pole setter and our fourth fastest driver have both wrecked out, and that means that Cargo and Joffrey may both be able to take the top spot yet before this session is fully over.
Well, it's just been drama after drama. I didn't think so.
Cargo invalidates his lap in the very last corner.
Yeah.
XRL Snake is going to come into the pits. He's not pushing. Here comes Boothie. Boothie is pushing now through the last section. No significant improvement.
It's Tom. Tom goes. Yes.
And Ottawa, no improvement from him either. King Joffrey at the line. King Joffrey back to the top, 124.977. He will break the 125 barrier at the last possible minute, and now everyone has officially set their laps. An incredible run here in Q3 with a lot of chaos in every way imaginable.
Wow, Joffrey, I am, wow. Like 24s? Seriously?
Not only did he get 24s, his time is almost 4/10 better than Retro. Joffrey knew what he was doing. He saved everything up for the last possible moment when no one else would be able to come back and find him again. And King Joffrey, ladies and gentlemen, in the Renault is your pole setter. Retro Ixie will have the outside pole in the Racing Point. Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri with Cargo and Tome will hold row 2. WCD Hubert has 5th, but he crashed out. Hopefully they'll be able to get that car repaired. He will be sharing that row with his teammate Boothie in the Haas. Alfa Romeo also takes home 7th with Ottaway. Mercedes, only driver representative in the top 10. Snake will start 8th. Constant Jet in the Williams will be 9th. And the final Racing Point will be in 10th after he crashed out. Was able to finish the lap, but he did crash out when he was on a flying lap. We saw at least 3, maybe 4 instances of accidents and spins in Q1, and then pretty much the same number, 3, in Q3 as well. So with this in mind, primarily talking about the Racing Points and the Racing Points and the Haas machines going into the race, how do you adjust your car setup so that way you don't have to worry as much about everything falling apart for you mid-race?
I think if you're having stability issues on the rear, you gotta add more rear wing, but with Park Fermi, I don't think you can do that. And I'd also say drop the tire pressures as well, but you can't do that either with Park Fermi. You can change is the front wing differential and a few other things as well, but nothing vital that will help you with stability issues. I also think what happened that made Retro Rich and Huber DNF is the fact that they, on the inside, touched the gravel on the rear tyres, and that's what made them go around. I don't think it's actually, well, it is driver error, but it's also due to them touching the gravel and going around as well. Alrighty, so 5 minute break. I'm also gonna have another minute as well for Remembrance Day silence.
Standing by here, I'm waiting to get underway at the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone. Saw a very, very chaotic qualifying Q1, Q2, and Q3 all had significant situations and instances, drivers not being able to set times, drivers getting disqualified for blocking pit lane entrance, multiple drivers turning their cars completely and spinning out, damaging or totaling their cars altogether. The race itself is going to be very interesting. And the big element of Silverstone is that these may be downforce monsters, but this car is this track, is stupid flat. So because of that downforce, the effectiveness of the downforce here is slightly reduced compared to a track where you would have a little bit more downforce, a little bit more banking in the corners, or just a little bit of angle at the corners. This is probably one of the flattest circuits on the entire schedule. There is a little bit of a uphill grade in Sector 3 that quickly falls away, but other than that, this is going to be a very, very interesting race to say the least. At least I anticipate will be an interesting race.
Alrighty, I'm back, and it looks like everybody's ready up now. So it's gonna be a hectic start. It's a tight corner to turn one, short run down to turn one as well.
Also of note is that 5 of our top 6 drivers are all starting on medium tire compounds, but outside of that, everyone else is running softs except for one of the Ferraris, who will be starting the 19th position.
Alright, 5 lights. And we're away here for Silverstone X3. Joffrey, he gets a good start. We'll go 5 right here, going into 7-1. That ain't gonna go too well. There's a lot of moving around.
There were 2 cars who just went right off the circuit there. They were able to merge back on relatively quickly.
I don't think that is anything about damage or anything like that. So King Joffrey leads with Cocker in second, Retrix in third. Tome still in fourth, but only still in the first half, and everyone's very close together. We've also got the new ERS system here on the game. This will be very nice. Cargo and King Joffrey very close together. We'll go Species as King Joffrey.
A lot of movements going on in the back. Boothy is hemorrhaging positions. He's dropped all the way to 9th now.
He's had stability issues once again. Oh!
He's not the only one! Whippy, Scholl!
Whippy,
Scholl, Herbie, a bunch of drivers all get caught up in an instant there. You can see Whippy and Scholl. I think I saw Whippy's car flying over the top of Herbie for a brief second there on the camera.
This car, I really don't know what happened there. That might have been just an issue with going too wide into the back corner, but I really don't know what happened there to cause all
well,
them
that is the
same
area. It's just a little bit down the track from where we saw WCD Hubert go around and wreck his car, so I wonder if Hubert got turned around from the car setup and Herbie, Scholl, and Whippy had nowhere to go. I'm almost positive I saw Whippy's car climb over the top of Herbie for a second there.
Yeah,
both of the Haas machines are coming into the pits to repair damage right now, as will XRL Herbie.
That's very unlucky for XRL Whippy and Scholl there. They could have had a good race. We have Fritz flash places, so Books as well. I'm going green again once again here for the second time.
Cargo has worked his way up into the 2nd position. He wants to see if he can do anything to King Joffrey before his soft tires start falling off that cliff that you were talking about.
Yeah, it looks like Jet is really in the back of Outway as well. It's got a bit wide there into the Herbin area. Predicted strategy around 10 laps with the soft tyre around 9. So that's the hards. So that is going to be very good. Looks like Constant is trying to get to the back of Atway. Oh, and he nearly touched Beckett. This is a very saucy battle. We have battles all over. Everyone is basically within each other down to 14th place. We've got a lot of coverage here.
Books has worked his way up into the 7th position right now, trying to run down Constant Jet in another Mercedes-powered car, although that's the Williams, not the factory Mercedes team. Trying to see if he can make anything happen. Constant Jet at the same time. Oh, and that is Careless Jackson who has gone off.
Yeah, I think these guys definitely have some stability issues here. So the track isn't really developed enough anyway, but also with cold tyres, I think the tractor is in AI as well, because he didn't get kicked. He's obviously retaken the car, maybe has gone further. I'm not really too sure what's happened, but obviously these drivers are having issues with the track today.
Constant Jet has the DRS open as he's trying to run down Otway here on that 2nd straightaway now.
Obviously, Retro is still really in close proximity of Cargo. Our Cargo is going to be actually quicker, as I did say before. They are going to go off pretty quickly, yeah, we just got to wait for that time, and the medium runners will really benefit from that. We have a 4-car battle here for 5th. It's actually because Jet Books and Fritz is up 5 positions. Could probably want to make that 7th or even 8 positions. He wants to get those points.
Fritz at the very back end of a large DRS train here, right behind Books and Constant Jet. Books having a lot of trouble trying to get his car alongside Constant Jet due to the just size of these Formula One beasts.
And I think, yeah, he is actually having a bit of he's struggling a bit with no traction, as I've just been on board with him and I heard the engine sound, and it's like, you know, when you can feel something happening but you can't. That's what I felt. I felt the rear tyres going, so we could see XRL Fritz drop off as he is struggling with no traction right now.
XRL Cargo trying to close in to Joffrey. The gap was about 4/10 on that second straightaway. It opens up just a little bit. Having that clean air is really helping Joffrey stay just far enough ahead of Cargo to keep Cargo from doing anything here.
Also with that's I think no, it's not. It's Stumpy. He's gone around again, and he didn't qualify.
So both of them are. Yeah, both of our McLarens have gone around. Stumpy actually has a little bit of front wing damage as well.
A little bit. That's a lot of front wing damage. He's definitely gonna have to pay for that one. But yeah, guys, today.
Fritz still right there on Books, who is right there on Constant Jet, who is right there on Ottaway. All four of these cars are on top of each other. But of note, Books is in one of the better positions. Joffrey's the fastest lap of the day, 129.525. Books is in a special position because he is on medium tire compounds. Everyone around him is on softs. So if he just sticks with it, he will pretty much by default inherit these positions ahead of him.
Yes, but also Snake's match and Waldo are coming into the fight as well, which put more pressure. But also you got to remember that obviously Dirty Air does put more wear on the tyres, so you preferably just want to get into clean air here to preserve those tyres, but obviously the soft runners don't really have to do that. They'll just, if they're doing a two-step strategy, they'll just shred it and, you know, don't give a poop about time management.
Battle for third as Tome has overtaken Retro. Retro's trying to fight back on the inside now. And as these two fight, it's going to enable Cargo and Joffrey to get away from this event. Stumpy has gone ahead and swapped onto the hard tire compounds. He may be anticipating that he could run those to the end of the race today.
Oh, it could do it. The two-stop make do from the soft to the hard to the soft and get the fastest lap outside the screen, which is 1 point, obviously. And Tom, he's thinking about that, into the stove corner, but it's too far back.
Cargo still within about half a second of Joffrey. He seems to stick between a 1.1 and 0.4 second gap of that leading Renault. Every time he gets really, really close, though, Joffrey usually ends up in. Oh, here we are. Cargo's got a good exit there, but Joffrey's able to put the power down a little bit more solid. Now, Cargo will have the DRS open on the straight. He's able to whittle the gap back down to about 3/3500ths. Can't seem to do much more than that. The straights just aren't quite long enough, and the drag, and there's not a whole lot. Oh, and Joffrey goes off. Joffrey almost spins himself out of the lead. He's able to save the car, but he drops from first to fourth. That had to be a heart-stopping moment for Joffrey and Cargo.
Crazy. Now Joffrey is going to be absolutely kicking himself now. He's got to get past two cars to even be in contention with Cargo. The Cargo is now just really...
Books makes contact with Constant Jet! Books and Constant Jet make contact, and there's one of the Renaults! The Renault is around! I can't tell who that is! I think that is Herbie! That's not Herbie! That was Joffrey!
That is not good. So Constant Jet now chucked all the way back to Tove. It's got end plate damage. He may be able to just fight that with damage off, or he may have to pit for a new wing. We see
Fritz
pit
is
now,
getting a 5-second penalty as well for speeding.
Yeah, that is going to be a common issue at this track as well. Snake with a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings, that's going to be track limits. Yeah, so now Constant is going to have to really push to get into the good punch paying positions as he's got Patreon in front of him. Now I'm going to go to Flying Waldo and XRL Snake. They're very close, going side by side through his corner. Waldo does look up though, which makes XRL Snake stay in 6th position. This is a very, very nice battle here. As I know, Snake is very respectful racer, and is Waldo going to send it through this corner? No, he's not. That was a pretty stupid move if he would have done it. And King Joffrey facing a time penalty. Oh, and we see Echo Fritz turn around. He's spun it on
Fritz goes around.
Pound.
Yeah, cold, hard tires, and the car went right around on him. I think I just saw Stumpy as well, also on hards, just cut right through the dirt there for a second. Cargo's actually gapping Retro just a little bit.
Waldo, sorry to cut in there, but Waldo through Stowe, and not Stowe, the other one before Stowe, but didn't make it stick, unfortunately. I think he's having issues with his brake balance as he's locking up in a few areas.
Joffrey has caught Tome, but the question is, will he be able to do anything to Tome? Here he is, coming onto the next straightaway. AlphaTauri versus Renault. Onto the second straight here. He will have the DRS. Will it be enough for him to make a move?
It's probably got it in with Cruise. It's got down in the inside. He's going to have to wait that a little bit longer.
A little bit farther back, with battle for 10th position, XRL Turbo has worked his way up into 11th, trying to make his mediums work against Constant Jets on softs. You said the softs die after what, about 8 to 10 laps?
Yeah, but that's will start going up about now. And finally Waldo has got past Snake. There he's got but yeah,
will he be able to stay ahead of Snake? Snake is still right there in DRS striking zone as they're going through Maggots and Beckett's here.
Oh, it's just a bit wide. That's going to compromise him, and Waldo's going to go through.
Joffrey completes the overtake on Tome.
Yeah, that's a very nice overtake there from Joffrey. But Tome is going to fight that position back. He wants that third, but no, doesn't get it back just yet. We also could see strategy into the hands of all these medium runners here. As the Cargo is on the soft, he's going to have to be pitting soon. If his time management is good, he can maybe push it a little bit longer. But as I said, as we'll go off around about now. See Constant Jet pit, he's probably going to put the either mediums or hard on. That's kind of actually. Yeah, but he's going to put the mediums or the hard on.
The first driver to have pitted for reasons not related to car damage. So that will be the beginning of a little bit of a shakeup when it comes to strategy here. We'll start probably seeing the soft tire compound cars come in next few laps, and that's really going to open things up for Retro, Joffrey, and Tome, because they will inherit the lead by a massive margin. The next highest medium tire compound driver is Turbo, who's currently ranked in the 10th position, as he has gotten around the drivers he was fighting.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so you'll have to play in turbos as well, as I'm just saying that except here it's a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, it could also work out turbo as well, as all of the drivers from 5th to 9th are on soft tyres, so we could see change up in positions here. As Atsue is pitting, probably the window is open now. Fully medium side compact King Joffrey passes that with 129.7. I mean 1, I think that was. Yeah, he's gaining on Retro Rixie.
The battle for 5th between Waldo and Snake has not let up at all. Waldo is ahead of Snake for the moment still, but Snake is staying right there. Both these drivers on soft, so they'll probably have to pit at about the same time. If anything, Snake might consider staying out one more lap if he thinks that the clean air will negate any sort of loss in grip that the tires will have. A little bit farther back, Audrey, who has come out onto the mediums, has caught Boothie, who has 7-lap worn softs. Boothie, one of the drivers who had to come in and pit to put on new tires and repair damage. This is about for the 11th and 12th positions at the moment. Those tires, Boothie will have just a little bit more on those tires than normal, but he will have to pit sooner rather than later anyway.
Yeah, pit window obviously is open now, and if you watch Beaver there, he did actually touch the gravel, and Cargo
Our leader is pitting
now, yeah. But yeah, if you were looking at Beaver there, he did touch the gravel, and I think that's what Uber Retro did in qualifying. So yeah, now flying mode, now Snake. This is going to play to the hands of people like Turbo and maybe Atway as well.
XRL Smash is coming into the pits, and we anticipate Patriot. He's staying out for this lap, but we anticipate Patriot will go ahead and pit the following lap.
Probably. Patriot just wants to maybe gain that lead over some of the drivers. And this is worked very well for Turbo.
Boothie is now going to start gaining a lot of positions, although he is still on softs. He will have to pit sooner rather than later as well. WCD Hubert, the other driver who's still on softs, some of the oldest softs on the circuit, he's back in 14th. When he pits, he'll probably drop to the back of the field. As we are now basically in a pretty well spread out scenario here. Audrey is still a little bit behind there within striking distance of Boothie, but he knows that Boothie needs to pit sooner rather than later, so he's not pushing too hard to get by him by the looks of it. He's just trying to keep nice clean air on that front wing.
Yes, but we also seeing a battle of Final and Snake again. I think this battle is going to go throughout the whole race. But another interesting battle as well is also from 5th and 4th. Turbo has dropped quite a bit. He may have had a little bit of a moment there in Magus and Beckett's. XR Cargo and XR Picture are close together as well. But I think Cargo doesn't want to try it too hard, as he knows that he's going to have to pit pretty soon.
Books is right there on the rear wing of Smash, going through Maggots and Beckett's, but Smash did a nice, steady little defense in the very last corner of it, forced Books to back off. Books will close the gap just a little bit thanks to the DRS zone activation, but for now, Smash is going to hold on to his 12th place position. And Boothie is finally making his stop, and we anticipate we will see Hubert making his stop as well, sooner rather than later, probably in the next lap.
It looks like Cargo may get past Patriot here, coming into the inside corner where Retro. Oh, they make contact. Excuse me. They made contact, but I don't think there's any wing damage made.
Yeah, a little bit aggressive, but Cargo has moved up into the 4th position, though. Bang for Cargo. He's 27.3 seconds off of the leaders. He is on medium tire compounds. The top 3 are also on mediums if they have 11 laps on them. When do the mediums drop off, Asda?
Well, probably, I'm counting this, but maybe like 14, 15. I think the softs can do 11 to 12 laps at the max. So if you do maybe like 15 or 16, maybe 17 laps of the mediums, put on the softs and go to the end. Yeah, I'm not too sure about the mediums.
Patriot and Careless Jackson have both come into the pits, and that will pretty much complete our section of our first stops of the day. No one outside of Fritz and Stumpy seem to be in a position where they can make that the only stop of the day. There is Hubert, who is now 9 laps through on his softs, but he'll have to come in and pit sooner rather than later, otherwise those tires will go away, and those Haas's have already had trouble staying on the track properly anyway.
Yeah, like even with good percentage, good rubber on the tires, I would say mobility issues. So I want to see what they're like with very worn tyres, so I think they'll be very cautious about when they pit.
Meanwhile, at the front, Joffrey has gapped Tome just a little bit, and he is actually closing in slowly but surely on Retro. The gap between first and second is staying pretty consistently less than a second and a half. There's no DRS assistance, so that would mean that Joffrey is catching Retro on pure pace. The thing is, once he catches him, will he be able to get by him? He was able to get by Tome without too much of an issue. Retro might not be the same scenario, though.
Yeah, I think he has got a good defense, but I think Joffrey would be a bit better at attack. I know Rixie has got a good defense, and as you say that Cargo does a 128.6, the fastest lap of the race, so we could see Cargo fight back here. But yeah, Rixie does have a good defense, so we could see Joffrey averaging him back here.
Also of note, a battle for 16th has somewhat developed between XRL Herbie and Boothie, although Boothie seems to be opening up the gap a bit. Herbie and Boothie were fighting for that 16th spot. Herbie is on warm mediums, though Boothie on fresh mediums, so I think as this race goes on, the battle will go naturally in Boothie's favor. Hubert has finally gone ahead and made his pit, 11 laps on the softs, and he may be setting himself up to run the rest of the race on mediums. We are already past the halfway point anyway.
Okay, so Hubert is pitting for mediums now. I think it's been a very good race so far. It is very, very unfortunate for Sheldon Whippy to be in, but that's how the cookie crumbles. Yeah, so the grid is very spaced out right now. There is a battle forming between Constant Jet and XRL Patriot though.
Also, I want to give very brief props to XRO Turbo and the Ferrari. Neither of the Ferraris made it into Q2. That doesn't seem to matter because Turbo is up there in 5th. Granted, he has not yet made his stop, and when he does, he'll probably lose a lot of positions, potentially dropping all the way out of the top 10. But for now, he is ranked 5th. Very respectable drive for him as he's running on a similar strategy as our 3 leaders are right now.
Yeah, so I think Turbo maybe do the strategy of when the free pit, he'll stay out for another lap and get that gap in the pit. But obviously I don't know what's going through the driver's heads. I don't think I am a reader. Yeah, so we'll see how it all plays out today. And we should be seeing stops roundabout now for the medium tire runners.
Yes, Retro, Joffrey, Tome, and then Turbo are the next 4 drivers we anticipate to see stopping shortly here. Herbie as well. Herbie has 12 laps on his tires, and here we are. Joffrey is coming into the pits, but Retro is going to stay out, as will XRL Tome. So Joffrey is going to be on his own. Now the real question is going to be, where's Joffrey going to come out in relation to Cargo? Joffrey was behind Cargo when Cargo went ahead and made a stop, and Cargo has had a lot of clean track since he made his stop, so this could get very interesting.
So King Joffrey is putting on the sauce. I did predict that, so I'm going to give myself a pat on the back, but not too much. Yeah, so that is a really good strategy, soft, medium, soft. No, I'm sorry, medium, soft. Yeah, I think we'll be seeing maybe Retro Rixie, Tome, and Turbo pit next lap for the soft tire compound.
So don't look now, but I think Cargo's going to inherit the lead. He spent so much time in clean air on the medium tire compounds that even when Retro and Tome make their stop, I believe Cargo will inherit the lead, or if he doesn't inherit the lead, he's going to be right on Retro's rear bumper. It's a full-on 4-car battle for our top spots, but Joffrey's little twitch that he had earlier that knocked him from 1st to 4th has really turned out to hurt him now. He is 29 seconds out of the lead, Cargo 26. But Joffrey does the advantage. He's running on softs to the end of the race, though. So he will have the ability to try and chase down Cargo ahead of him. The gap between the two is already about 3.6 seconds.
We also see about for 5th, should I say, Team Turbo and Axway. Obviously, Turbo is going to be pitting soon, so Axway will get past him somehow or another. And Axway is not really.
Our 2 leaders have pitted.
Yeah, our two leaders have pitted. Cargo will get the lead and Joffrey will come second.
So it looks like the undercut might end up paying off for Joffrey. Will he be ahead of that pink racing point? Yes, he will be. So move Joffrey up into the second position ahead of Retro. And now the question is going to be, can Joffrey, Retro, and Tome, with their soft tires, run down Cargo on slightly worn mediums? Both of those tire compounds will probably expire about the same time, probably with about a lap or two to go. The question naturally is going to be, are the softs fast enough?
It's gone off.
Yeah, that's Stumpy back there in the 18th position. It's just not gone very well for the McLaren team in the race itself. Carlos Jackson 15th, Stumpy 18th, neither of them in position to earn points as of now.
Yeah, the constructors are going to hurt a bit, but I think if Cargo does win this, he will extend his lead even more in the drivers, because Snake, he's in 8th, he's in the points.
Boothie has gone around. Boothie has spun around the same area that he did in Q1.
Wow, yeah, he's having a really tough time. Those issues, it could be just with the traction control, it may be using off, or it may be the actual setup itself. And Kate Joffrey, he looks to be gaining on Cargo, so we could see a battle here for him in a few laps time.
Fastest lap of the race for Joffrey, Otui, and Turbo continue going at it. Turbo, another lap on those mediums, 16 laps on them now. He's going, when he finally does pit, although he's going to lose a lot of time, he will be on sauce and will probably be one of, if not the fastest car on the track at the very end of the race. Otui is definitely not happy being held up behind that Ferrari, though. I would put money down on that. Also of note is Fine Waldo was right there in that battle, also looking to capitalize if something happens, as is XRL Snake right behind him. So those worn tires of Turbo has kind of formed a bit of a truly train here as they go down the second straightaway. But I think Ottawa's going to get him this time.
Yeah, I think he will. Braking a bit later than Turbo. Turbo's got a wider line, and he can't really defend it. Waldo goes through as well. Snake looking at Turbo as well. So those tyres are going to be pretty much maybe 70% or more. 70%, they are really horrible to drive on. So yeah, I think Turbo should now. Oh, and as goes wide, the Waldo does try and take the advantage, but it doesn't work out. As I think maybe actually running a bit lower wings than Waldo, so we could see that happen.
So don't look now, Joffrey has all but caught the DRS zones of Cargo. He's only 1.1 seconds out from our leader, and he only has 2 laps on those softs. Unlike last week in Austria, where Joffrey caught the leader, but his tires were all burned up. Here, he's going to have him, and he's still going to have some laps left on the tires. They're going to have a full-on shooting war for the lead between Cargo and Joffrey, and if they spend too long at it, Retro will be right there in the midst of it.
Yeah,
Books is making a stop now.
So Books is making a stop. Turbo will have to hit this lap. If it doesn't, then he is really endangering his strategy and also his tires, because obviously there's a point where the tires have no grip whatsoever, and it could result in a spin and DNF, which we don't really want to happen. As I'm saying this, Joffrey really on the back of Cargo here, trying to make a move in seconds, but isn't working. He's going to have DRS, he's going to have to get percent over, he's going to have it on Rich through, he's going to get past him through this corner, I don't know what it's called, but it's a nice high speed corner, too wide, very respectful driving is the only just doesn't. He's going to wait for another DRS zone. Oh, and he
makes a little bit of contact.
Yeah, and no damage whatsoever on the Renault. Yeah, he's just going to sit behind Cargo and he has a good opportunity to overtake him.
He can't afford to do this for too long because Joffrey has 2 sets of 3-second time penalties for track warning violations. He needs to get by Cargo as soon as possible. Also of note, like you said, Retro has caught this battle, so it's a 3-way fight for the lead now.
three-way fight for the lead. It could go wrong. Yeah, a lot of things, what could not go wrong, a lot of things as well. So, he's still in fourth.
He's off!
Oh!
They made contact and Joffrey missed the corner.
No,
So now it's Retro and Cargo for the lead.
And then now it's Joffrey and Tome as well for third place, the last podium position, as Turbo does make it stop now, and is now currently not in the points anymore. So yeah, we've got a two-way battle now again, with Retro Rixie instead of King Joffrey.
Retro less than 3/10 out. He's going to have the DRS here on the straight. He looks to the outside. This is the same thing Joffrey did. Joffrey wasn't able to make it stick. Doesn't matter. Retro makes it stick. Put that racing point up into the top spot.
Oh, we have a that Fritz has gone off. Yeah,
Bad day going worse for Fritz. You can see front wing damage. One of the end plate on the right side is missing on that front wing of his car.
Yeah, it seems that Retro Rixie now is pulling a massive gap now to drop past Cargo. I think Cargo will not retake the lead unless something happens to Retro Rixie. He's been pretty dominant all weekend. He's good in qualifying, he's been good in the race, and he's in third now. But anything could happen. We could see him spin out, we could see him do anything. Tome, he's nowhere near third place now. That chance has faded away. King Joffrey, he could catch up to Cargo, and I hope he does, but I'm not too sure about that just yet.
One thing that's really disappointing, the complete collapse of the Haas team made it in to Q3. We're fighting for the top spots. Neither of them are any higher than 13th. Hubert is back there in 15th. Boothie is 13th on the timesheet. So Haas has had a complete collapse of fortunes here in the race. Careless Jackson has gotten by Patriot. So despite Careless Jackson having several instances in the race, he is back into the points-paying positions.
Well, yeah, but it all comes down to penalties, isn't it? In the end, who has more penalties, who has less. So we could definitely see a switch around of positions at the end of the race.
So my question is, regarding the top 4 drivers, what are their penalties looking like? Because they're all within about 6 seconds of each other right now.
I'll have a look if you want. I'll go and look. So Retro Rixie, he just has 1 penalty, so 1 free second. Cargo, he has 1 penalty, so that evens out the top 2. Jeffrey has 6 seconds. So that'll be kind of odd on.
And where's Tome?
And Tome has 1 warning, so we could see Tome on the podium here today.
Yeah, that's going to be very good for Tome. That would bring him from 4th into 3rd without too much of an issue. In fact, if he could run really fast and Cargo keeps dropping off, because it seems like Cargo's tires and just ability is dropping away from him gradually. If Tome pushes hard enough, he might be able to catch Cargo in overall time. And that is one of the McLarens, and Stumpy has gone off again there in Maggots and Beckett's. He is back underway, but Stumpy's gone off again. Yeah.
There's obviously having quite a lot of issues with Maggots and Beckett's, especially the last sort of S, I would say. And King Joffrey's gaining on Cargo here as well, so we could see a switcheroo of positions here, and we could also see maybe get a podium here.
Waldo and Ottawi are having their own little spat for 5th position. Snake is just a little bit outside, but here comes Waldo. He's got the DRS zone, and on the inside, move Waldo up into the 5th spot. That would mean that Racing Point would finish 1st and 5th if they stay where they are right now. Ottaway is right there, though. He wants to make something happen in comparison. And again, Snake is just a little bit farther back, ready to capitalize on any mistakes these two drivers might make. Going into Maggotts and Beckett's now. When our leaders hit the line, it will be 3 laps to go. So there is 3 laps to go right now. Of note, Cargo has a 3-second penalty. Tome has no penalties for now. So if it stays like that, and if Tome can make up about 5/10 of a second or so, he might be able to overtake Cargo as well in the timesheets. Not to mention, Joffrey has almost caught Cargo as well, so Joffrey will probably put a little bit of pressure on Cargo if he can, even if Cargo doesn't have as much time penalties as Joffrey does. I don't know if Joffrey knows that.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows that either. But Joffrey seems to be really closing down Cargo here. Those mediums are going to be going inside, go a little bit off now here. And this could turn out to be good. Last 2 laps battle for 2nd place. And to get on the podium in XRL is an achievement, so have 2nd place.
Joffrey's got the DRS here on this final straightaway. What's he going to be able to do? He looks to the outside, getting some clean air on that front.
Only doesn't make it.
Also of note, congratulations to our leader, Retro Rixie. He is sailing off into the distance as these two are fighting. So Retro played his cards right, avoided the instance that Cargo and Joffrey were having.
It's raining.
And it looks like it's going to work for him.
It's raining.
What?
It's raining. King Joffrey, he's got another penalty. So 9 seconds. And
if it's raining with 2 laps to go, this could get really bad, especially if the track gets damp here. I'm not seeing rain on my screen yet, though. Not yet, I'm not at least. Oh no, I see it now. Yep, there's definitely rain on the circuit. But you can't go ahead and swap on the intermediates. You'll lose so much time. You might as well just stay out and stick with it here.
Yeah, I don't think the track would have gone up to beat it until how heavy the rain actually is. And we could see maybe a free sprint in the last lap of the race if it carries on going heavy like this, but I don't think it's too heavy.
Books and Turbo are still slamming it out for the 12th position. Sad thing is, there will be no points given for those spots. Joffrey still right there behind Cargo.
Gaining.
Also of note is that Tome is actually closed in on this battle just a little bit. Tome might end up being 2nd after all the penalties are given at the end here. The track is definitely getting wet. You can see it gradually wettening up. I still don't know if that's a term. I forgot to look that up. I was going to look that up over this last weekend. I forgot to look up if that was an actual word or not. Here we go! Joffrey's looking there on Cargo. This is the last lap. Retro has a 4-second gap on these two drivers, but he needs to be careful. Everyone needs to be careful. The track is getting wet here on this final lap.
It's getting really wet now. The rain is coming down pretty heavily here. The slick are going to be, especially if the wall. Oh, and King Joffrey is. I know he only just doesn't get it. But yeah, this track is going to be very, very wet very soon.
Tome is on track to finish 2nd once all the penalties post-race are added up. He has caught the tail end of this battle. He just needs to stay there in striking distance, and he will come home with 2nd on the podium steps. Through Maggotts and Beckett's for the final time for Joffrey and Cargo.
Oh, he's taken up so nicely. That's unbelievably, incredibly good. And now we have a battle where that is.
Yeah, that's Herbie. He was in the way. Joffrey is there. Final corners. At the front, Retro is entering the last 3 corners for the last time today. Give it up for Retro. He is going to take home a victory here. But when the battle is here for the second position, Tom has caught Joffrey.
He's going to get it. He goes.
Yes, Tom gets second place. Cargo third. Joffrey fourth. Here comes Waldo. Waldo is going to try and open up enough of a gap on Otui so he can hold on to the 5th spot. Otui and Snake are still fighting back there, but 5th place on the track. Is it going to go to Waldo at the line? Survey says yes. Waldo is going to hold on to 5th. Otui 6th. Snake 7th. Smash and the Ferrari. He is all by himself, and despite the unique tire strategy of his teammate Turbo, Smash is going to ignore that, run his own race. He's going to come home in the points paying position despite not even making it into Q2. So congratulations to Smash there. Here comes Constant Jet in the Williams as he's rounding the final corner, but a real battle is going on back here.
And Killer Jackson does make contact here. Who's going to come out in the last point paying position? Let's find out here. Patriot, because it's the last.
It's Turbo! Turbo! By virtue of having fewer points, time penalties, is going to end up 10th. So Constant Jet, WCD, Hubert, Patriot, and Books all gets kicked out of the points paying position. So Ferrari rebounds at the last minute, and they're going to take, both of the Ferrari drivers will take home points today.
That's a very good result for Ferrari here, and it's also a very good result for Alfa Romeo as well.
That was a very, very engaging race. Oh, wow, that's probably one of the best we've seen in a long time. Despite all the excessive number of penalties, that ended up being really good despite them. So you can tickle me pink. You can tickle me pink like that pink Racing Point Mercedes that ended up winning the race there. There's your winner, Retro, who takes it home. And then also to the AlphaTauri guys, they were able to bring it home second by just keeping their nose clean. Excellent, excellent strategy today on their point. That was absolutely incredible.
That was
4 very strong fighters. Yeah, we had 4 very good fighters for the win all day today. That was incredible, to say the least. We're going to go ahead and try to get word from Retro here. And yeah, Careless Jackson and Turbo had no penalties as composed. Constant Jet, who ended up in the end finishing behind him, 15 seconds. You can see how quickly that adds up. Turbo, just by keeping his nose clean, ended up backing into a points-paying position.
And also the Hassel movie, 15 seconds as well. Not a good day for Hassel, but hopefully they recharge and go for the next one.
Yep. Well, I'm going to try and get word from Retro here, because that was an absolutely incredible, incredible run all the way through to the end. Played the strategy right, was able to avoid incidents. Worked out for him in the end. Hopefully he'll be able to jump in with us. Also of note, we only really had 2 DNFs over the entire point of the race. So those were the instance on the very first lap there. So a relatively clean race as well. There was a little bit of contact going on at the very end, but other than that, yeah. I'm going to try one more time to invite Retro in here just to hear what he has to say about his race today. About his win as well.
Thank you for thank you all the drivers for that wonderful race. That was a very nice race, and very easy. You know, it was a lot of drama. So very nice commentate on.
We're also running just a little bit ahead of schedule. Normally these events run for about 2 hours. We're not quite to that mark yet. So a very quick and breezy race as well. So anyways, here in the booth with us, we have Retro Rixie. Right now he's in connecting mode. All right, Retro, go ahead, include your audio. Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Retro.
Buzzing. Cheers, mate. How'd it look from your side?
I personally saw 4 different drivers all slamming it out with their own significant chance of winning. You ended up on top. How did you beat the guys you were around?
I'm quite grateful that
Oh!
And I was a
Disconnect,
connection
I
issue.
guess.
Yeah. Oh, he's back.
Yeah,
You're
make
back.
sure your audio's still included. What were you saying?
Oh,
Okay. Connection issues. At least it didn't happen to him in the race itself. But
yeah.
that's a little bit awkward.
Yeah. Oh, he's back.
All right, maybe third time's the charm.
Retro.
All right.
sorry guys.
Are you with us,
This is
Retro?
why- yeah, this is why I don't do parties very often. They don't work.
Okay.
Well, real quickly, how did you beat the drivers that you were around on the track there?
Practice, focused on the corners, and just made sure that just kept out of trouble and tried to keep up with them. Thankfully, they had a bit of a battle and did a bit of the work for me. But yeah, look, it was quite good. I was chuffed with the strategy and didn't put a foot wrong. Yeah, couldn't ask for better. Pleased with it.
Retro.
Cheers, guys.
Yep, hats off to you, Retro. So there it is. That's going to be the end of the race here. We're going to start winding down the broadcast. Real quickly, Ozda, thank you very much for being here in the booth with me. I really do like doing this with you, but what do you have to take away from this race going forward?
Take from this race, Retro Ricky does have. We also seen that maybe have another competitor, and we also see that Ferrari need to pull the pan qualifying.
I'll say the biggest thing I'll take note of is that rain ended up being more of a psychological factor than an actual on-track factor. We didn't seem to have any issues from the rain itself, but the number one thing, we saw it at Montreal, we saw it here, avoiding penalties is probably the single most important thing in this series. If you can avoid time penalties, you can end up in very, very good positions. Tome ends up second when he never really ended up being higher than fourth most of the day by virtue of avoiding penalties. Both of the Ferraris end up scoring points because, again, minimal penalties. So avoiding penalties, biggest thing, that's what I would take away from this race. But once again, Barry, I want to thank you very, very much for being able to jump in here with us. Very glad I was able to cover this race with you, and quite a race it was.
Yeah, I mean, on what's it, Hungary next week? So,
Yep. Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to start winding down the broadcast here. I've been Insane Layer 13, been joined by XRL Ozda. And
So-
next week we should be going to the Hungarian. So what? Go ahead.
I know, I was just saying, like.
Oh, okay, yeah. But we'll see you next time. Once again, thank you to Extreme Racing League for letting us do the broadcast for X3. You can go to the other XRL channel, and XRL Ozda will be there, and he will be broadcasting the X2 race in about an hour and some change then. But until next time, I will see you next week. Farewell.